What's up, everybody, and welcome to another tournament vlog. This time we're going to be covering the RCQ tournament I attended on September 14th. So we're about 24 hours out from that tournament in this recording. So this is future me taking a look back on how the day went, what my experience was like, and what deck I was playing. So without further ado, let's check in with real-time me as of yesterday. What's up, everybody, and welcome to tournament vlog number 1 for September 14th, 2024. Another modern RCQ that I'll be attending locally. This one will be really quick because I'm running late again. But I'm going to be running a Boros energy deck today. It's a little faster. I think it has some really good answers for the colorless Eldrazi decks out there. Good answers for the mirror match, which I think are like our two big competitions. But then also has some decent answers for dimmer decks, Murktide decks, as well as some of the Goryo's Vengeance decks as well. So overall, this deck, based on my analysis, so I like to take a look at tournament results over the last week and see what's been going on. Seems this version of a Boros energy deck seems to be doing better against the play field that I will traditionally run into. Also, this one's quick and dirty. I don't have my whole audio set up, so if it sounds a little weird, that's what's going on with this vlog. I literally got to run in there right now. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling excited. I got Magic the Gathering online up and running, so I have been able to practice the deck. And so I'm feeling good about it. It's done pretty well. But like I said, I got to run. We'll catch you in the next vlog post here. Thank you, past me. Future me again. So in retrospect, so this is, being able to look back on how that day went and the next vlog. I was actually a little bit more tired than I thought I was. I stayed up a little too late the night before. To being honest, not doing anything important. I was playing video games. I wanted to take a little mental break from Magic, so I was playing some Deadlock with some friends and stayed up a little too late. Slept in a little too long, and then had to rush to put my deck together, actually like physically put the cards together. So I was feeling okay at the start of the day, but I realized that I was a little bit more tired than I thought, and we will see exactly what sort of outcome that led to. All right, we're doing all of this in a little bit different fashion than I normally do with the car touch base, but welcome to vlog number 2 of RCQ day on September 14th. I'm always forgetting the day. So I finished my first 2 games, first one against Frogtide deck and second one against a mirror match. Didn't realize it was a mirror match. That was just a complete mental flub on my part, but I went 0-2 in both matches. So Frogtide was a little frustrating. I played nice and tight and pretty good there, but I just got everything countered, like literally everything countered. Even had a Blood Moon at one point and was playing around the counters and trying to get him to burn counters so that I could play a Blood Moon just to slow him down, and still managed to counter me out. So that was rough. I really couldn't build a board state, couldn't do anything because I just kept getting countered. So I had answers in the sideboard for him, another Blood Moon. I had some Thraben Charms for blowing up their graveyard so that they couldn't play Murktide with any effectiveness. But overall, a little frustrating on that match. But I feel like I played tight, didn't miss any triggers, so it was good. The next match ended up being a Boros energy mirror. So first punt of that match is when he's like, oh, I'm gonna put my Moose as my companion, and I was like, oh, Moose. I was thinking of another companion card that you sometimes see. I think it's in Golgari or something like that, and I thought he was playing like a white, red, green deck, or I don't know. I was really confused at it, and then the cards, all that I saw was like a Ragavan, and I don't even know what else I saw in the first game, but it definitely just didn't. There was even an Ether Hub I completely missed. But anyways, he ended up the companion was Gigantha, which is in the Mardu or Boros deck. Completely missed that was a Boros deck, even though that he had the energy with Ether Hub. And then, so game 2 happens. I don't sideboard in my Sun Cleanser, and which was a big mistake. And then I went full in Blood Moon, and unbeknownst to me, something I'm learning, is that usually after game 1, you sideboard out the Blood Moons against the mirror, and focus on some other things. So really all I would have sideboarded in is maybe Thraben Charms, definitely the Sun Cleanser, and then I had a Fear Fire Foes card that I should have, or I did sideboard in. So what I ended up sideboarding in was 2 Wear Tears, 2 Thraben Charms, and a Blood Moon. So the Blood Moon didn't need to go, so I could have got rid of my Blood Moons, and then got rid of the Wear Tears and put in the Sun Cleansers, and we should have been good to go. So ended up losing that one 0-2 as well. It was a little rough, but it was with the TO, so the 2 joins, so that we had an even number and a clean bracket. But it was a miss for sure. But they went over the deck with me. They kind of said, hey, this is probably what you want to do. So overall, learned some things. I got complimented on the deck. The quality of the build of the deck is good. But apparently just how I played it was rough. So all in all, a rough start to the day. Lost both of the matches, went 0-2 in both matches. But I got 2 more matches ahead of me. I think I'll probably get a bye for one of the matches, but overall, I'm excited to play the rest of the day, get some more practice in paper, because I've been playing Magic the Gathering online a lot. Actually got a good about 20-25 reps in with this deck, so I felt really confident with the deck. Had like a 60-70% win rate, so felt good about the deck coming in today, but not doing so well. So we'll see how the second half of the day goes. So let's go check in with future me. What an interesting turnout. So what I thought was kind of interesting about the first 2 games was, one, I don't think I've made that big of a mental error yet in my attempt to qualify for these events or my RCQ runs. So I really just did not click for me that the person I was playing a Boros energy deck. I just completely missed that that's what they were playing. I saw their companion. It had a different art than my companion, so I just wasn't clicking that was the same companion. I didn't read the name of the card, so I was like, oh, it's some other companion. And then the cards that they played a couple that were in the Boros deck. They played an Ajani, they played a Ragavan. But if I had like paid attention and just saw that they had played an Ether Hub, I would have known that they were at least in an energy deck, because they didn't play any other energy cards. They didn't play like a Galvanic. They didn't play an Amped Raptor. They didn't play a Guide of Souls. So it just didn't trigger for me that it was an energy deck. Otherwise, I would have sideboarded in my Sun Cleansers. But I just didn't put those pieces together. So it was a little rough from that. I was a little upset with myself. I don't think it would have changed the outcome of the game, because, who knows how draws would have went, but the cards I had in hand weren't even the cards I sideboarded in. So assuming I sideboarded in the right cards and got those in my hand, then great, I would have gone somewhere. But in my mind, I'm like, well, I sideboarded in a bunch of cards. I drew and never even drew any of the cards I sideboarded in. So like, never would have got that Sun Cleanser anyways, right? Say just swap out the cards for the right cards, still didn't get them. So all that being said, that was a little upsetting just because of that mental flub. I think I was a little bit more upset about that in retrospect than I was about just getting countered after countered after countered in the dimmer deck. I'm like, that's going to happen. They hit all their counters. They just didn't let me put anything on the board. So that was a little rough. But I think I'm more upset with myself about the mental punt, if you will, for that Boros mirror. But let's go check in on the final vlog, because I think I have a little bit of a surprise for everybody. What's up, everybody, and welcome to tournament vlog number 3 for September 14th, 2024. I got a bye in my last round, but I've got some great news. I have met one of my first goals. I have won an entire match. Ended up winning it 2-0 even. It was against a dimmer deck. It wasn't a dimmer Murktide deck though, so kind of asked him what it was, and he was like, it's kind of dimmer jank. So that might have played into it. I have a pretty optimized Boros energy deck, so that it just kind of rolled over, sort of a non-strong, non-meta deck. But I'm really excited. I met one of my first goals. Now the next goal is to be consistent with that. Try to win at least one match every time I show up to one of these RCQs. Obviously, the next big goal is to win 2. If I win 2, we're making forward progress. Usually 3 wins will get you into the top 8. So I'm not putting the cart before the horse here. The goal right now, it's sort of the standard goal is to just continue to get the 1 win every tournament. But the next big milestone hurdle goal that I get to get really excited about is going to be getting 2 wins, and then doing that consistently. And then, next one is 3 wins, and from there, either 3 wins gets you into the top 8, or the next goal is, start getting into top 8. So the last match of the day, which was my 4th match for me, was against a Ruby Storm deck, which I'm just absolutely flabbergasted that the win percentage for Ruby Storm, I think, is something like 57%. I will double check that. I will throw the actual number down here in the bottom of the video, but I'm pretty sure it's advantaged over Ruby. And first game went okay. I hung in there until like turn, I don't know, 5 or so. I managed to get a Gigantha down, so yeah, it was turn 5 or 6, and then they finally stormed off, and I think it's Thalia's or something like that, where they mill all their cards and then they win the game. So that, or they play all their cards and they win the game. That was game 1, and then game 2 of that was a turn 2 storm. Just straight up turn 2 stormed me. Like, there was nothing they could do. Like, I had the perfect run. I had Guide of Souls. I had an Ajani down on turn 2. And then next up was turn 3. I would have had an Amped Raptor and an Ocelot Pride, both in hand. Like, I had like the perfect line, perfect curve that you want. The only thing that I could have thought of to maybe do differently there is to be like hyper aware of that turn two storm off, and just like mull till I had my Magebane Lizards in my hand. So, because that would have at least allowed me at a turn 2 play Magebane, and then every spell they would have cast, they would have taken 1 damage. So that being said, that would probably be the only thing I could have done. Or like turn 2 had my my charm in my hand. I forget the name of the card. It's a 1 white, 1 colorless. It allows me to exile their graveyard, do damage to a single creature, which is twice the number of creatures I own, or destroy a target enchantment, or target artifact. Thabian's Charm. There you go. And so I guess if I would have held that, maybe, and then I could have blown up their graveyard. So like I had a couple outs, either get Magebane Lizard down on turn 2, or had the Thabian's Charm in hand to just blow up the graveyard, so that they couldn't play any more cards. So that was really it. So I guess I should have just mulliganed until I had those cards in hand. Maybe that was my plan against Storm, but I don't know what you do against a turn 2 Storm into a Grape Shot 19 to the face. Like what am I supposed to do there? That was rough. I was a little frustrated about that. I was like, man, what the heck am I supposed to do? So I lost 0-2 against the Storm deck, which I was really sad about, because I knew the percentage. At least I think I know that it is in my favor. So I don't know. Overall, I feel okay about the day. A lot of lows. I think every match I think I went 1-2 in one other game, and then every other one I went 0-2, except for, so I went 3, so I played 4 matches, went 1-2 one game, 0-2 another game, 1 in my game, 2-0, and then went 0-2 in the 4th game, and then got a bye in the final round again. So overall, I feel good that I met my first goal. Now we just got to keep doing that, and I think more and more practice. So that has helped a lot, is to play MTGO and get reps in with the deck, get a lot of exposure to different types of decks that I may be facing. So like I need to get back on there and play against more Ruby Storm decks, really practice that. The other decks I lost to was a Boros Mirror that we talked about. Then I lost against a couple other. I lost against the Boros Mirror. I lost against, I forget what my first match was. Oh, it was a Frog Tide deck. Lost against that one, which I have like the cards to sideboard against that, and still lost. And then like heavy. So like heavy cards to go against that. Like Blood Moon is just a really good counter to Murktide, because then they can't play anything, because everything's black or blue, unless they have their island or swamp all ready to go. And then I have Graveyard Destruction to counter the Murktide, the Murktide play. And then I have good removal for the Psychedelic Frog. So like I don't know why I'm losing against that deck, but lost against that one, had a little bit of lunch break, gave you that update in vlog number 2. And then in this vlog here, we had faced a dimmer jank deck and a Ruby Storm. So good day. Overall, getting out early. It's nice. I'm going to enjoy an early dinner, and we'll catch you at the next tournament. Until next time, you know what? We're just going to hand it off to future me to close us out. I told you I had a little bit of a surprise for you. Something I'm really excited about is I've got my first full match win in an RCQ. The rest of the games I did get kind of just stomped, which was a little rough. But I did get my first RCQ win. So now I'm just really excited about continuing to try to do that and move that 1 to 2 and that 2 to 3, and then just kind of work in the process. It's small wins, and when you're pushing towards something that's difficult and something that you've never done before, I think it's critically important to celebrate the small wins and then consistently be able to do those. I think there was a quote about like an amateur practices until they can do it, where an expert practices until they can't mess it up. And so that's kind of where we're at now, is moving towards that, like into that space, if you will, where I just can't mess up getting at least one win a tournament, right? And then the next goal is to get to 2, and then can't mess that up. Always getting 2 wins, and so on and so forth. And I know Magic has a lot of chance involved with it as well, like what cards you draw, so on and so forth. But it also has a ton of skill. You can smooth out that chance and really improve that. I mean, I saw, and it depends on deck too. Like I saw a winner of a previous RCQ go 0-3 and then just drop from the tournament in the tournament yesterday. So like it happens, but they were playing a completely different deck. They were trying something new. They were trying something out, and it was a completely different deck. So I'm assuming if they would have played the same deck, that it would have been much different results. They would have more consistently got those 3 wins or 4 wins on the day and moving into that top 8. So I was really excited about that. It was kind of a bummer that I got hit with that. I think they said it was a 7% chance to do a turn 2 storm into 19 damage great shot. Like that's crazy. But overall, I was a little down because of the other matches. A lot of matches went 0-2 for me, but then I was really excited about the 1 match win. So it was really kind of a bittersweet day for me, all in all. But I feel good about it. I feel good about the 1 win. I am now taking that deck. I'm tweaking it a little bit. I'm playing it a lot more on Magic the Gathering Online, so I get a lot more practice and reps with that deck for the next RCQ. I hope to be streaming some of that along the way. So, you can always check out my website, halfpump.com, where you can find all my links for YouTube, which you're already here watching this video, but my Twitch, Instagram, Twitter are all out there as well. So follow along and join me in my path to pro as I try to qualify for a Magic the Gathering Pro Tour, and starting at the very bottom of this entire thing. So you are watching me learn and go through the trials and tribulations of trying to do something really hard and learn something really complicated. So I appreciate all the support from all of you so far. If you like this video, like additional Magic the Gathering content, things like Bronze to Mythic runs, I'm going to be doing set reviews, obviously my vlogs for my RCQ tournaments. Follow along, hit that subscribe button. It's free, it supports the channel. I love comments. I try to respond to as many comments as I can with video responses, but I do respond at least to every comment out there. So I really do appreciate all the support. And until next time, we'll catch you at the table.